There is a real risk that the steps taken by the US and China to reduce their mutual interdependence will adversely affect the global economy, and Singapore will not escape such spillover consequences. Our open economy is highly dependent on doing business with the entire world, and we have benefited greatly from being a vital node in globalized supply chains. The US is the largest foreign investor in Singapore and our top trading partner for services. But we are also one of the largest investors in China, which is our top trading partner in goods. If the US and China get along, then Singapore will be ideally positioned to prosper. On the other hand, if things go wrong between them, these strengths can quickly turn into vulnerabilities for Singapore. The Taiwan Strait has become a more dangerous flashpoint. For China, Taiwan is a part of China, and Taiwanese independence is an absolute red line. However, to the US and some other Western countries, Taiwan is a vibrant democracy that they need to protect, just like Ukraine, which in fact is different because Ukraine is an independent country and a member of the United Nations. Meanwhile, in Taiwan, more and more people are identifying themselves as exclusively Taiwanese. Whilst neither the US nor China seek a military conflict over Taiwan, the fact is missteps or mishaps can easily trigger a cycle of tit-for-tat actions and reactions that spiral dangerously out of control. A conflict over Taiwan will have global repercussions and much more direct impact on Singapore than the ongoing war in the Ukraine. Not only is Taiwan much closer to us geographically, but our ties with the US, with China, and Taiwan are much stronger and deeper compared to our ties with Russia and Ukraine. We have repeatedly stressed to both the US and China that Singapore, and indeed the countries in our region, want to maintain good relations with both countries. We do not wish to be forced to choose sides. We participate in multiple initiatives that have overlapping memberships, but do not always include both parties. For instance, whether you talk about the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework or the Global Development Initiative. We have always put Singapore's national interests first, and we take principled positions impartially, even if it does not always please one or the other superpower. And we need the quiet confidence and the national unity to do so consistently for the long term. We do have good, deep, constructive relations with both parties. I think we should also know our place. We are not going to be able to bring them together. But what I would say is, as Singapore, I do not have the luxury of saying one thing in Beijing and then a different thing in Washington. So both Beijing and Washington know that when we analyze a situation and we take a position, it's not for one side or the other. We're not a stalking horse, we're not a proxy. We call it the way we see it, as a tiny city-state in the heart of Southeast Asia, dependent on world trade. And they also know that we will be consistently reliable, we're good for our word, and actually taking this kind of posture, being straight, being consistent, being very clear where we come from. In fact, I have found to be a very good and useful way to engage superpowers.